Hey everyone, alright, so this is what I want to do. So I'm getting a lot of comments on the relic mode and the threshold of this machine. You know, people just don't quite understand that, and I completely understand that. It's easy to not understand it. Most machines prior to this MX Sport were beep beep machines, but this machine being a beep and a threshold machine, you have the combination of the two to be able to locate relics. So I'm going to do a little test with you so that you can see, and I'm hoping it works. Dry test. I do have targets in the backyard, but they're mixed. I have iron in with silver and, you know, coins in with iron, so they're mixed, and it's really not going to work out that great. But what you hear from the machine is not what you're going to hear from the headphones. It's very loud in the machine. I get comments like that. How do you stand the noise of that? Well, it's when it's coming out of the machine and there's no headphones on it. Yeah, that's loud. That's real loud. Yeah, that would get annoying. But when they're in the headphones, it's not that loud. You hear the signal, and when you have that threshold hum, you're listening to that threshold hum changing. So one of the things that happened today, which happens pretty much every day for me, but I'm pretty sure I got this one on video. It was that navel button, I think it was, that I found. Something like that, or the really small piece of something. I'm searching, and I hear this very faint echo in the ground. That echo isn't a beep. It isn't a beep, beep, beep. That echo is just the threshold. That's it. That's all you hear. There's no beep. So finding stuff, if you're just listening for the beeps, yeah, you're gonna have a hard time, because with the MX Sport, it'll pick up beeps. Yeah, it does that. But the better stuff you're gonna find with that threshold hum. Let's start the machine and I'll show you. I'll run through the settings again real quick. This is what I have it set on. I don't even change it. I leave it right here. So take a look. A little glare on the machine, isn't there? Alright, so we're in relic mode. Oh, I gotta take that adapter off. Yeah, they got this strange adapter for the headphones. Okay. Now, yeah, that is loud, but that's not what I'm hearing in my headphones. Alright, so I'm going to turn down the threshold just so you don't have to hear that, okay? Let me run through my settings with you on this real quick. If we can get a... Okay, I don't think there's much glare there. Okay, so relic mode, yes. Alright, I crank my volume all the way up. Frequency 0, salt track 0, program relic mode, sat 2. Now I call it saturation. I know you guys, you know, it's self-adjusting threshold, but guess what? It pretty much means the same thing, and the old machines use saturation, okay? So that's what I call it, that's what it is. Iron grunt 1. I want to hear that iron that's in the ground. That's really necessary. You need to hear all the iron that's in the ground. VCO on, yes. Audio mod 1, yes. Reject volume, I have this cranked up to 50. That's what I use on a normal basis. I don't change this. This is what I'm using. Reject volume 50. I want to hear everything that's being rejected. Tone, I have it on 8 tones. Okay? Disc, I usually bump it up to 0 just so I can hear a little more of that discrimination, but you can leave it right there. That's fine. It naturally discriminates a little bit of iron in the relic mode anyway. Okay, so there's our settings. Now, I'm going to crank this threshold up a little bit so you can hear a hum. Alright, can you hear that hum? Alright, you could probably hear that hum. Alright, now, this was that little button I found today, the little navel button. Now, I'll show you. You'll hear a beep. Hear the beep? It's not perfect beep, but the further away you get, listen to that hum. Hear that? Sometimes you'll hear a beep, sometimes you won't. You have the option of two, a beep or a threshold. That's why you use the threshold. If this was super deep, hear that changing? Look how far away that is. And you can still hear it. When I hear that, I'm thinking something's deep. When I hear that, when I hear the beep, I don't want to hear the beep as much as I want to hear the threshold. Alright, let's try a nice little tomback button. Nice loud beep, but the beeps are close. Close. The further away you go, the less beeps you get, right? The deeper objects, listen to that threshold. I'm maxed out. That's only a 10-inch coil. I'm about 14 to 16 inches away. When I hear that, and it's gonna show it on the ID, even though it's not hearing a beep, 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 even though you don't hear that beep, 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 you're still hearing that threshold change, and that's the key to threshold. Is the threshold is going to find the objects that the beep, beep, beep will not find. Now, beep, 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 pretty much, you're good 8, 9, maybe 10 inches. But threshold hum, man, that thing, I've dug deep with just hearing a faint echo. I hear that threshold just change just a tiny little bit. And what that means is there's something there. There's something there. So, what do? You stick your shovel in the ground, you take off some soil, you pass your coil over it again, the signal will change. Now you'll start getting a better reading of the signal. You might even get a beep because you're closer to the signal. That's threshold hum. That's the difference between the beep and threshold hum. You get the choice of the two with this machine. So, with big objects, let me show you big objects. Alright, so we have crotal bells right here. You all know what these are. They're little sleigh bells. They use them on the horses. Just let people know they're coming. But I got this nice, great big one. Now listen to this thing. Look how far away I am. Can you see that? It's like 2 feet. Hear that? I'm not hearing a beep. But I can get that object out of the ground because I know something's there. If you're just waiting for that beep, it's going to be way up here. If you're waiting for a really good beep, it's going to be really close to the surface, and you're missing all of this stuff down here. Okay? That's why I use threshold hum. And if you read the manual will even tell you that. It'll say, you know, if you use threshold hum, you know, you'll find more targets. And it's true. Absolutely true, because it's I don't know, it's hearing it, it's sensing it further away than the circuitry that uses the beep. So yeah, I highly recommend the threshold setting. Highly. Now I normally have that threshold cranked up to about 17 in my headphones, and it's not that loud. It really isn't. It's I can withstand it. You see, all the noise that's coming out of that threshold when you're at an old home site is usually all the signals in the ground. It isn't just that steady threshold hum. It's always those signals. Beep, beep, or, you know, hum, 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 change, and it's constantly changing because there's constantly different minerals in the soil. But after a while of using it, and after a while of digging signals, digging targets, you learn, you adapt to the machine, you adapt to the settings, you adapt to the threshold, and you start finding a lot more stuff, better stuff. That's how you use the white MX Sport. That's how you use this machine. If you're just going to stick it in coin and jewelry mode and just rely on the beep, 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 you're very limited. It's very shallow, and you're missing out on a whole world of deep stuff. So, hey, get yourself out there. Just put it in relic mode. Sat to reject volume 30 to 50. I'm at 50. Iron grunt and threshold. Yeah. Sensitivity. I don't even touch sensitivity. Just whatever settings I showed you earlier that my machine was set on, those are general settings. I use those settings no matter where I go. I normally never have to change that. Unless I want to hear more threshold, then I raise my threshold up. If I want to go deeper, I turn that threshold up. Because the louder I make that threshold, the deeper targets I'm going to hear. Louder. It makes deeper targets louder in my headset. Now, if I turn that threshold all the way down, threshold is at 0. Here's that little tomback button. Okay. You got the beep, but you don't have that threshold hum. It's chattering right now, that's all it's doing. Chatter it's picking up frequencies, metals, stuff like that. When you have the threshold up, it pretty much cancels out any chatter, so you don't have to worry about chatter. And you just get the volume to a reasonable, manageable sound in your ear, and you'll be okay. I don't come home deaf. It doesn't hurt my ears. Now, I've had people say, "Oh no, you're supposed to have the threshold all the way down at 0. Okay. On what machine? Because if you read the MX Sport manual, it specifically says that if you want to find deeper targets and more targets, use threshold. So I've been using Relic Mode Threshold for 2 years now, so and my finds have increased tenfold, and it's easy. The ID still works, and it's easy. It works out great. So that's my recommendation. Use this MX Sport on Relic Mode and use it with high threshold. Okay? So thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next time.